That's why Fed Farmers is standing up, putting a stake in the ground and calling government to unequivocally rule out the concept of Te Mana o Te Wai. Fed says the government must replace Te Mana o Te Wai with plain language law that is clear, certain and enforceable. He says that trying to regulate intangibles like a river's life force raises huge question about who decides when that life force is protected. If we're measuring clarity or nitrogen levels, that's straightforward because we can ask an ecologist to test it, and if needed, get another expert to peer review it. But how on earth do we determine when the Maori of a river is protected? The answer in many cases has been to hand that responsibility to the local mana whenua, iwi and hapu. And Hooper says, in effect, this will just grant mana whenua a monopoly on deciding what is or isn't allowed to happen in New Zealand. We've seen examples where mana whenua groups say mixing two water bodies like water race water may reduce Maori because it mixes two river spirits together. We've seen claims that any discharge of treated water into a waterway, despite being scientifically clean, would reduce Maori too. These blanket requirements pose a significant barrier to rational and open debate when one group's beliefs can override the needs of an entire community. The story goes on. We welcomed the government's commitment last year to fix unworkable, expensive freshwater rules, but they need to do the job properly. A decision on Te Mana o Te Wai is due soon, but of the three options, the government has floated only one of them that fully repeals Te Mana o Te Wai. And Fed Farmers believes the only way forward is to repeal the rules and replace them with clear, science-based standards. And I'd say hear to that, Jaspreet. You might recall in our earlier shows a few years back, West Australia had a mythical serpent called a woggle that they had to take into account when they were assessing some parts of the environmental legislation over there. And I've got a view that fables, fairy tales and folklore and the mystique of all those sort of things can never be allowed to inform any legislation in this country.
What you can't measure, how do you control it?
Hmm.